Hello everyone, my name is Ernie Banuelos and today I'm going to be talking about Jacopo de Barbari's view of Venice. So this was published more than 500 years ago and it is the woodblock print presented as a detailed portrait of the city from a bird's eye view. It is an artistic and technical marvel and it was printed on 6 separate sheets of paper as you can see here. This was the largest produced in Europe at the time, and it was recognized for its design, its composition, scale, and precision. The print was granted one of the earliest known copyright permissions by the Venetian state at the time, and Venice was one of the wealthiest and most powerful states in the early modern world during this time. It was experienced, lived, and navigated unlike any other city in the world. Despite this work's historical and cultural significance, there are many mysteries surrounding it. Some of these questions that we have are how is it that this was created? How exactly did Jacopo de Barbari and his team of wood carvers create the 6 large blocks? And who were the printer and sponsors for this expensive work? While these questions continue to puzzle us, the fascinating context of the view's production offers some clues and understandings. It is believed that the map was intended for diplomats, courtiers, collectors, and wealthy merchants. This was an extremely detailed and printed with care map, which at the time would have costed an estimated 3 ducats. This would be considered a lot of money back then. It was a luxury item intended solely for serious collectors. Though Jacopo de Barbari's ability to depict in intricate details and construct a faithful and overall appearance of the city, he was able to portray the power of the city in a very special way. He was also apparently doing this with another intent, which was to get closer to the Holy Roman Empire, Emperor Maximilian I, who he actually wanted to work for, and he ended up working for after the completion of this map. So in the map, there are 2 Roman gods presented. These two are Poseidon and Mercury. These are featured showing their protection over the merchant center. And another thing that's interesting about this map is that the overall shape of the city was deformed and exaggerated. According to scholars, this was done so in order to resemble a dolphin, which I actually cannot see. Uh, but the reason why they did this is because the dolphin is associated with Venus and also associated with fortune, musical harmony, and the Christian resurrection of the soul. At the time of the view's production, Venice was one of the wealthiest and most powerful states in the world. A city whose curved urban form seemingly floated on water, with over 300 bridges connected a mosaic of islands, each intersected by canals. Lining them was palatial architecture, and scattered throughout churches declare extreme piety, even if residences enjoy extensive liberties. The architecture at Piazza San Marco and Rialto Bridge, which were the 2 principal sites of governance and commerce, promoted a distinct civil identity. Piazza San Marco and Rialto Bridge were the mythical symbolic zones of Venice. The sites were not separate locations with distinguishable purposes, but rather 2 sites with complementary functions. These 2 principal sites were meeting places and vital areas for exchange and international negotiation. Squares for permanent and occasional markets, and loci for government administration. They share the powerful balance of the highest needs of the Republic. The present-day urban contours of Venice appear to be remarkably similar to the representation in Barbari's view, yet a closer look reveals that over time sites have changed. Napoleon's occupation of the city, beginning in 1797, made a visible mark on the urban fabric. He ordered the demolition of spaces and implemented large land reclamation projects, which created some differences. Despite all the positive associations with the view, there's still another mystery that we haven't discussed. Why was the map publication allowed in the first place? It looks as if it's sort of opening up the city to a lot of attention, and it is discarding too many details about the city to potential invaders. And although it was even officially supported by the Republic of Venice, this could have potentially opened the door to aggressors. This is what I believe based on my research. I think the architecture in the view is depicted in high definition and detail as a piece of masterwork, a piece of artwork that took years in the making can only mean that the intention was to showcase the power and superiority of the city. I think this work was intended in gain support from the Republic of Venice in order to convey the strength of Venice and showcase the importance it held politically and commercially. I think this was meant to uplift the morale of its residents and let foreigners know of its power and influence. The use of Roman mythology leads me to believe they were in a bit of a defensive mode, seeking the protection of deities to continue to thrive and progress. I think this shows the perspective of the rich and the wealthy, but as usual, it dismisses the perspective of the poor. I can only wonder what life was like back then for them and how the decisions is what the people empower made influence their daily lives. This has been my presentation. I hope that you guys enjoyed learning more about this view of Venice as much as I did. And thank you for your attention.